Hi everybody and welcome to our Wednesday TNT. It's the end of a very, very long 6-day long weekend, the start of Buddhist Lent. We will find out a bit more about that later on in the program. But the main stories today, well actually there's a lot of stories, we'll barrel through those in just a moment. But staying in Thailand is the real big story today, both with the Thailand Elite visa, which I know doesn't affect many people, but it's important we understand what's happening here, because as I dig into some other stories, almost as a sort of last paragraph thing, looks like there are some wholesale changes on the way for things like the retirement visa, the OA visa. Now, I'm not here to spread any fear or anything, but I think it's incumbent on me to make sure that you're kept up to date with any news on this. And of course, it's up to you if you're staying here on a retirement visa or an O or an OA visa to make sure you know what's ahead. And we'll start with this from patiamail.com. It was reported yesterday, mega changes ahead for Thailand's Elite visa. Now, the Elite visa program's been around for about 20 years, was started by the Department of Sport and Tourism here in Thailand. It's been moderately successful, but it suddenly zoomed in the past couple of years, and I think this is precipitating a lot of these changes. Here are some of the things that you could expect with a Thailand Elite visa. You'll arrive from your flight at the gate and two pretty ladies will meet you and they'll escort you. Well, you don't even have to walk. They'll drive you to the immigration area. I have to say I've never looked anything like that when I've stepped off a plane after a long flight. The story says the Thai Elite visa, which offers multiple entry stays between 5 and 20 years, will totally replace its current packages on October the 1st, 2023. I say that it was founded by the then Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra, but a new senior management team at Elite has decided to introduce unprecedented changes. All new applications for Thailand Elite must be made by September 15 under the existing application rules. And current holders of the popular Elite Easy visa, this is the sort of lowest level of the Thailand Elite, a 5-year visa available for a cash payment of 600,000 baht, have until August the 15th. Well, that's only 2 weeks away to transfer to a longer Elite visa, usually for 20 years. After that, it will be too late. And no official announcement has been made to detail what the new October 1 Elite visa packages look like. And the people who say they know what's going to happen, they don't. I was calling a few people yesterday who deal directly with Thailand Elite, and they simply don't know as yet. And scrutiny of application details will almost certainly be intensified. Currently, files are checked against the Thai immigration database information held by Thai embassies abroad. This referral might extend to Interpol. Other memberships have been refused to some Elite holders whose original visas were for study or voluntary work. Well, some suggestion there that there have been abuses with the Thailand Elite, which doesn't come with a work permit, except in one sort of quite specific case. It says membership of Elite programs stultified in the few thousand members for many years, but zoomed to over 20,000 in 2022 and is now thought to be nearing 30,000. So we've seen a big change and a huge jump in the popularity of Thailand Elite visas. Well, over 1/3 of recent applications are from Chinese citizens, but Thai MPs and tourist authorities have both complained publicly about abuses. Talking about visa agents in Chinese cities who have been offering under-the-table Elite visas in return for mammoth cash sums. And clarifications also needed on regular working in Thailand by Elite holders. And clarifications also needed on regular working in Thailand by Elite holders. Elite doesn't offer work permits as part of any deal, although one program, Flexible Plus, has offered access to the Department of Labour permits in return for a US $1 million investment in property, the stock exchange or companies. Down the bottom there, the Thailand Privilege Card Company has promised to explain the brand new framework well in advance of the October 1 inauguration. So a bit of background there on what's happening with Thailand Elite Privilege visas. Let's go to Siam Legal, who are one of the top agents for Thailand Elite visas. And what do they say? Well, they've released a notice saying that due to the discontinuation of the current Thailand Elite visa programs, new applications must be submitted before September the 15th, 2023. And then Thailand Elite Easy Access visa holders, which is the lowest rung of Thailand Elite, who wish to upgrade to Elite Superiority Extension or Elite Ultimate Privilege, must submit their upgrade application before August the 15th, 2023, which is less than 2 weeks away. So you can see there that the names are very confusing. I think they're going to be simplifying them along with any other changes they're making. Then Thailand Elite visa applications with pending background check approval or pending payment may still change their program before September the 15th, 2023. So there we go. That's the latest on Thailand Elite. I know that doesn't affect a lot of you, but this next story will affect a lot more of you. It starts off on one vein, but moves into another. So let's see what we're doing here. The PatiaNews.com reports Thai police pledge to eradicate foreign motorcycle clubs involved in alleged criminal activities. The Royal Thai Police are on the hunt for 5 major foreign motorcycle clubs operating on Thai soil following a crackdown on the notorious Outlaws Motorcycle Club in Pattaya last month. And last month they launched a crackdown on the Outlaws group and arrested the alleged Austrian gang leader Thomas Ginner just as he was preparing to flee the country. They say Ginner's motorbike club was notorious for engaging in transnational crimes and was implicated in an incident in which a German gang member named Olaf Brinkmann was accused of murdering Hans Mack, a 62-year-old German property broker in Pattaya in June. Brinkmann was arrested while hiding in a type of cubbyhole at an Outlaws clubhouse in Bangkok. A cubbyhole. Secret room, I suppose. And the Royal Thai Police are now targeting 5 major motorcycle clubs operating in the country. These clubs include the Outlaws Motorcycle Club, the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club, the Banditos Motorcycle Club, Mongols Motorcycle Club, and the Vagos Motorcycle Club, also known as the Green Nation. Most of the clubs are managed by Australian nationals and operate mainly in tourist destinations across Thailand, such as Phuket, Koh Samui in Suratani, and Pattaya. And they say these motorcycle gangs are targeting foreigners for protection fees in exchange for them to run businesses in the area. And typically the gangs do not meddle with Thai people, as they know it will land them in trouble more easily than when they do with foreigners. And the Deputy National Police Chief, Surachat Hakpan, stated that the gang members tend to favour Thailand due to the lack of strict law enforcement and corrupt officials. And this is where we get down to the details in the story that you need to be aware about. I don't even need to highlight this particular paragraph because the PatiaNews.com have done it for me. As part of the efforts, Police General Surachat promised that he would propose an amendment to the immigration law, especially concerning retirement visa extensions. So let's try and find out a little bit more about this. We'll go back to the original source material for this Pattaya News story. It was originally published in the BangkokPost.com under the headline Driving Out the Gangs. And you can wade through the story about the motorcycle gangs and then get to this. For example, requirements for obtaining a retirement visa are easy, he said, adding the law requires any foreigner aged at least 50 years old to have at least 800,000 baht in their bank account or an income certificate with a monthly salary not less than 65,000 baht. That requirement is too low, he says, and does not help screen quality applicants. And he says a lack of inspection of bank statements by Immigration Bureau officers also leaves room for some foreigners to window dress their bank accounts. And then some even get help from visa agencies or Immigration Bureau officers, such as the case in which 107 immigration officers helped more than 3,000 Chinese nationals involved in grey businesses obtain visas in February. Stronger visa criteria could help prevent gang members or those on international criminal blacklists from entering the country. So just reading the tea leaves on that, it looks like there is going to be recommendations made to the next government to tighten up the retirement visas. This is the O and the OA visas. Does that mean they're going to have a higher qualification? Does that mean that people who currently have visas under the old policy are able to keep them at that level? Now, there's no details on this, and nothing has even been suggested to Parliament at the moment. So really nothing is going to happen. Well, we don't even have a government in the next, 3 to 6 months. But it's certainly on the radar and something that I think we need to keep an eye on. And certainly I'll be looking out for stories about this and making sure I keep you up to date with the latest on retirement visas and any other changes to Thailand Elite. Wednesday's TNT. Please subscribe to the channel. We are aiming to try and get 25,000 subscribers by our anniversary, which is, I think, the middle of next month, 8th of August or something like that. So that'll be our first anniversary. Might even open a bottle of soda water with you. So we are aiming to try and get, I think we've got 1,000 to go. I can usually get about 1,000 subscribers in a month, so let's see what we can do as we head to that first anniversary. Zooming through some other stories today, BangkokPost.com reporting the developer of Ashton Asoke must be held responsible. This talking about the BMA, the Ashton Asoke, which is down near the Terminal 21 and the BTS Asoke station, and that they haven't had a legal access to the property. Great big, tall, skinny black building, but surrounded by other properties. And there's now a big problem with them gaining access to a main road to get, well, in and out. And the owner of the Ashton Asoke project is responsible for building an entrance to the condominium complex in accordance with the required standards. So they must be held responsible for failing to do so. This has come from the Bangkok governor. Mr. Chadchart insisted the BMA officials did their duties to the best of their ability. Well, apparently not so. And the 6 billion baht luxury condominium project in the Watana district has been in the headlines since last week after the court ruled the entrance to the property did not meet the minimum requirement standards for a 50-storey building. Meanwhile, its developer, Ananda Asia Asoke Company, is insisting they met all the requirements for a building permit, that they secured the necessary approvals from all relevant agencies before construction began. Mr. Chadchart said yesterday that it was clearly stated in the permit requirements that high-rises over a certain height must be connected to a main road by an entrance that has to be at least 12 metres wide. I think that's even wider than most of the building. You could, drive 3 trucks, 4, 5 trucks side by side down a road 12 metres wide. Meanwhile, the president of the Stop Global Warming Association warned the BMA it was duty-bound to implement the court's ruling in a timely manner or risk breaking the law. Somewhat moving out of global warming into town planning, it seems. He says the BMA must notify the condo to immediately rectify the issues with its entrance. In the meantime, the BMA must do what it can to keep people out of the property until the issues are sorted. Sure, the owners are going to be happy about that. And if the condominium's developer is unable to rectify the problem in a timely manner, the BMA must strictly enforce the Buildings Control Act by ordering the complete or partial demolition of the condominium complex. Well, that's probably not going to happen, but as I've said 1,000 times, just don't buy property in Thailand. That's my own personal recommendation. Rent is just so much easier and gives you a lot more flexibility, and in the long run a lot cheaper. And the thing is that there are these problems and they happen far too often. If you are inclined or you simply have to buy property in Thailand, make sure you get a properly qualified Thai lawyer on your side and do a lot of homework. It's much more complicated probably than buying property in your own country. Moving on to a story from nationthailand.com. Economy and people's livelihoods must come first. So this is Srettha Thavisin. He's probably going to be nominated on behalf of Pheu Thai as their prime ministerial candidate when a joint sitting of Parliament happens this Friday. He was outed yesterday when a post was made showing that he, during the campaign for the recent election, was saying that he supported amendments to the Lese Majeste law. And Pheu Thai PM candidate Srettha Thavisin said that amending the Lese Majeste law will not be one of his policies if he's nominated as the party's prime ministerial candidate. So I suppose he's changed his mind, because he knows the reality that if he's seen to be supporting amendments or changes to the Lese Majeste law, he simply won't get the votes from the Senate. He says we need to put Section 112 aside for now if we want the country to march forward and the new government to be formed. Now, he was responding to comments criticising a video clip of him saying he intended to amend the Lese Majeste law while campaigning for votes. Last month, Srettha announced that amending Section 112 should not be the policy of a Pheu Thai-led coalition. So it might be something he personally feels, but he understands the party is not going to back amendments to Section 112. So I suppose yesterday's press conference was about clarifying that matter. Let's see what happens on Friday. Now we go to ThaiPBSWorld.com. And this is in relation to the explosion on Saturday in Narathiwat down there on the Malaysian border. Explanation sought as to why fireworks were stored in densely populated Narathiwat community. Just look at that devastation, that taken with a telephoto lens, which sort of compacts the whole picture. But this was like 300, 400, 500 metre radius around the actual explosion area. And a Move Forward party named Wirot says he wonders how the warehouse could be allowed to operate in such a place. And he said that not only the owner of the warehouse, but also law enforcement officials must be held accountable. And 12 people were killed and over 100 were injured in the explosion and the subsequent fire. More than 300 houses in the vicinity of the warehouse also sustained damage. Well, yes, certainly a lot more than just damage. Some of them were just flattened. So this Move Forward Party MP is suggesting that some officials may have taken bribes to turn a blind eye to what was actually happening. And of course, severe consequences there. So more follow-up and investigation into the fireworks explosion on Saturday. And a closer look now at the Buddhist Lent and the Dharma Day in Thailand. This was published by thepatianews.com, and they're talking about the Buddhist Lent Day. Now, today is the first day of Buddhist Lent. I've incorrectly said in the past that it was the last day of the Buddhist Lent, but it's the start. Today also the last day of that 6-day, very, very long weekend. So not only is it going to be difficult to buy alcohol today, it's also going to be very, very busy on the roads as people make their way back to home and work. It says it's a day when monks are required to remain in a particular place, such as a monastery or temple grounds. Many people visit temples across Thailand to offer large candles to monks. And Thai people do this for one of two reasons. The first one being that monks once used candles to study after dark. The second reason is that people believe that offering a candle would in return make their own future a bright one of strength and longevity. And these 3 months are also a popular time for Thai boys and men to become ordained as monks. Though many will not go on to live as monks, they go through this process to fulfill the expectations of their family. I've had a lot of Thai employees go through this process. I've been to more of these ordinations than I'd like to count, and they do usually stay in the monastery for, say, 5 to 10 days, and they get their head shaved, and it's a very important time for them and their families. And then it says that this is a very special time of the year for devout Buddhists, and one travelling or spending time in a Buddhist country should respect that. So there you go, a bit of background from the Pattaya News about the Buddhist Lent Day. So thank you for joining us today. Please subscribe to the channel. I should also thank 5 Star Marine, who have been a sponsor of the program ever since day one. I will keep an eye on any other sort of rumours or changes to retirement visas, but my feeling is that it's going to be at least 3 to 6 months before anything sort of surfaces and these new policies may be put to Parliament. So no fear for now. Let's just try and track the story and see what's happening in the future. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.